Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today I'm going to review The Sun Down Motel by Simmons and James. This book is part of the challenge Read It or Ditch It for the month of November, where I gather some of the books that I wanted to finish by the end of the month, and if not, I needed to donate them. So I finished this one. I'm going to give you my thoughts. I'm going to tell you a little bit about this book, and hopefully by the end of this video, you can decide if this is something that you want to add to your TBR. Now, one of the things I really like about mystery book thrillers is when there's more than one timeline, that you know that eventually it's gonna get to what really happened, but you can kind of see in the past what's really happening, in the future what they think it was happening, and that's part of what drew me to this book. Now, this book opens in 1982 when Viv leaves her house, leaves her town, and she really wants to go to New York City to start her new life as an actress. She wanted to be in the entertainment business. It was briefly mentioned, but that was her goal. However, she ended up working at the Sun Down Motel in New York. She was working as the night clerk. She wasn't happy with what she was doing, but she was really curious about what was happening in this motel. We quickly learn that as soon as Viv starts working, weird things start to happen around the motel. Like doors are opening all together at the same time. There's not many people that, go to this motel. It's basically almost empty all the time. However, there's a certain time at night where something happens, the light goes out, the doors open and close, and she knows that something supernatural must be taking place because there's no enough humans or people around her to blame for what was happening. Now, eventually, Viv disappears from the motel and she's never found. Now, the second timeline is Carly, who is her niece, and she never met her aunt, but she knows that it was really hard for her mom and her grandma to not only lose her when Viv left them, but also knowing that then she disappeared and nobody knew what happened to her. So when Carly loses her mom, she decides to put a pause in college and go to New York to investigate what really happened to her aunt. Is she dead? Is she alive? Is she living a different life somewhere else? That's what she wants to find out. And how she does that? By getting a job as a night clerk at the Sun Down Motel. And we quickly learn that the same things that were happening back in 1982 to her aunt, now it's happening to her. So it is kind of a weird sensation because they're both going through, it's kind of a weird feeling to see how both of them are going through the same experiences, years apart. But from the supernatural beginning of this book, we move on to a mystery, to what really happened, to talking to the people that knew Viv, and that involves a series of characters that worked in this town. And she ends up also, the niece Carly ends up living in the same apartment that her aunt used to live at, and it all goes from there. I have to say that the story was really intriguing from the beginning. I think that I'm moving away from haunted houses and haunted places, but the way that is incorporated in this book is tying to the mystery itself. Like whatever is happening in that motel will have something to do with what really happened there. And I felt like it was really smartly done. I felt like they had no plot holes in the end. Everything made sense. So it really overall is a good book. Now, as far as my personal enjoyment, I have to say that at the end I was pushing myself to continue to read it. Not because the book was getting boring, but it was almost repetitive. There's a certain thing, well, she's investigating, and every time she goes to these people that were part of her aunt's life, she's getting all these negative responses, and you're like, I don't know why they wouldn't say anything to her. I don't get why they're hiding this from her, or why are they saying that they didn't even know her when they did. So it became a little bit repetitive on that part, and a little annoying to me particularly, but I think that overall the mystery itself is the part that will get you hooked to this book, if you enjoy a good mystery, of course. I didn't feel like it was such a thrilling book, or maybe it's not what I consider a thriller for my personal liking, but it was mostly a mystery, and it was a very satisfying one at the end. So for me, this was a really good story. It wasn't what I was expecting from it, but I thought that the supernatural element that I'm kind of staying away from was used in such a good way in this book that I ended up finishing it. As far as my rating, it was a 3.75. On Goodreads, I tried to always go up, so it shows as a 4-star. I thought it was good. It was entertaining. I enjoyed it while I was reading it, but it wasn't what I like in a mystery. However, I started reading an arc of the new Alex Finley, The Parent Weekend, I think that's what it is, and it has so many different POVs, and it's kind of confusing, but I'm loving every second of it. So I understand that this is a good book, it's well written, it's a good story, it's a good mystery, but maybe it's not written in that style that makes me want to come back to this book. Like, I don't want to watch TV, I don't want to go anywhere, I eat simple meals, read. That's when I really am into a book. And again, I'll review that one that I just mentioned in another video, but this was a good book, and if anything that I mentioned in this book piques your attention, I think you're truly gonna enjoy it. So anyway, thank you so much for being here today. I truly appreciate you coming back to my channel. If you're new here and you want to continue to watch my content, please remember to subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment down below. I love to say hi back to you. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye guys.